A little bit like a rabbit in the headlights on his walk up, and he's playing one of the most experienced players in the game in Andy Hamilton. So he's just got to get up there and enjoy it. You know, he's just got to think to himself, if I can beat James Wade, then I can beat anybody, and keep that in his head.
And just a reminder, if you are wondering why somebody like James Wade had to qualify for this event, it's all to do with the European Tour rankings. As we said earlier, if you're watching earlier on this afternoon, if you want to remind people, Rod, the criteria for qualifying automatically into the second round tomorrow, the top 16 in the European Tour rankings.
Yeah, it is the top 16 from the Pro Tour Order of Merit, not the world rankings. The rankings from these Euros events all last year went on this Pro Tour, and we kept it the same this year. Why should the board of directors change it? Of course, that left a few of the top players out in the cold, thinking they were automatically going to be in, and that included Raymond van Barneveld, James Wade, Phil Taylor. So, you know, it is a part of the Pro Tour Order of Merit, and why should we use the world ranking? The top players, to be quite honest, get looked after enough in all the major TV events back on home on Sky Sports and ITV. So, of course, this gives everybody a chance.
Raymond van Barneveld did make it through the qualifiers last night and comfortably dispatched his fellow countryman Ron Meulenkamp 6-1 earlier on this afternoon. Barney up against Dave Chisnell in the second round tomorrow. The second round shaping up nicely. We'll run through tomorrow's encounters a bit later on as the second round takes shape. The second round spread across an afternoon and evening session, starting at 1 o'clock Central European time, midday in the United Kingdom, and then we're back at 7 o'clock in the evening here in Germany for the evening session of round 2 tomorrow. Another great day of darts in store here.
Well, a chance here for Barry. He puts a big score in, which is what he's done. Andy Hamilton made a little bit of a mess of those previous 3 darts, from 88 only hitting 28. So now he's going to get 2 darts at double top. Doesn't want to put that up too high. That's why he's had to move. That's kicked up a little bit high, covered up half the double top. Now down for those 10s.
Did the job in the end then. To take the first leg, did Hamilton.
The last leg against James Wade, Barry hit 180 and then took the double out straight away, and James Wade was sitting there on the double. And we say about hitting the big score to set things up, I mean, he did it perfectly. Of course, with our qualifiers and our tour events, we've got sometimes 32 dartboards in a room, 16 each side, so no one is just, attention is all on you. There's loads of other people, so, you can relax a little bit more. This is alien to Barry, but has played on the county stage in the BDO system back home, so he's had a little bit of it, but this is the first tournament for him in the PDC.
55.
But it just proves, Mike, the PDC, the opportunities that we're giving dart players to earn money and to look at a career in darts. I mean, Barry works on the building, he's a hod carrier, and I can assure you that is very hard work. So, a chance to get fame and fortune in the game of darts.
And as you mentioned earlier, with the prize money now on offer, it is turning into a serious career choice, certainly in terms of the sporting spectrum, and indeed for those who are handy with a set of darts and who want to do something Different to a day job, a different sort of day job on the oche. 20 for double top for Hamilton for a 2-0 lead here.
58. Barry requires 60.
And again, that dart goes low for the hammer, so a chance here for Barry. And that's unlucky.
20.
I think he rushed that last dart a bit. Perhaps he should have moved just to the right to have a bit more of an open target.
Game shot the second round. And Hamilton. Third leg, game from first. Game on.
So Hamilton finds himself 2-0 up and with the darts in the third leg. When Barry Lynn did have a chance to
170.
restore parity at 1-1. They do look quite wide, the barrels on Barry's darts, the more sort of traditional sort of bulbous barrels.
Yeah, I think both players. I mean, Andy Hamilton's is quite a chunky dart. It's all to do with, you know, how it's going to sit in your hand, in your grip, in your fingers. It's all very well saying, well, you know, ideally you should throw a straight barrel because obviously there's more room, you know, in the board. If you put one in the treble, there's more room. But if it doesn't fit your hand properly and it doesn't feel right, then, you know, you actually throw what feels great in your hand.
85.
Yeah, when I see those really smooth barrels that don't appear to have any grip at all on them, you sort of think, get sticky fingers. There are plenty of guys who do throw them, those sorts of darts, obviously.
Well, Terry Jenkins is one of them. You know, it is as smooth as anything, his darts, and you often wonder on the big stages when it's, you know, up over 100 degrees, how the sweat on his fingers doesn't make the dart slip on it, as we call aquaplane all the time.
100. And you require 103.
So 102 plays 101 after 12 darts each.
Well, Barry had 2 darts at a double in the previous leg. Can he get 1 dart at a double in this leg? Well, the answer to that is going to be possibly no, unless Andy Hamilton is going to mess around on the 16s. Now, the beginning of last year, you'd have guaranteed this would have been first or second dart, but it's first dart. We used to say that Andy Hamilton's taken the mortgage out on the double 16, he owns it.
Yes, it was a good 12 months for Andy Hamilton.
And only, what, 3 years ago, Mike, he was drifting out of the top 16, and that turnaround was when he beat Simon Whitlock when he was dead and buried. And that match turned his whole career round. Well, I think the tattoo says it all. It should be a bigger hammer, though. I don't think Andy would look too good with a small hammer like that in his hands.
It's a good shot at the tattoos and the bling.
81.
Are you brave enough for a tattoo, Mike?
No, I don't have a tattoo about my person.
I'm not.
Looks far too painful to me.
Absolutely.
60.
So Lynn well ahead in this leg. And as we keep saying, we're just doing good to get a leg on the board, making his European Tour debut.
34.
Another one of those would be good.
Well, this needs to go up near double top, which is what he's done. He mustn't mess around with them flights with that third dart. That's why sometimes you do see that third dart go in double top to keep away from the treble. Save busted it, but he comes back. Well, he's already had 2 darts in double top in leg 2 and missed it.
Oh, well, he really has got to take these chances, especially against somebody like Andy Hamilton. Ball for double 16. He did finish on the bullseye to go 4-0 up.
It's a cruel game when you're a newcomer, as with Barry. You know, 3 darts at double top in that leg. Leg 2, he had 2 darts at double top. Could easily be sitting there 2-all. But that's what the game's all about, taking those chances. And when you're playing the experienced players like Andy Hamilton, they're not very often going to give you a second bite at the cherry.
Robert Thornton awaiting the winner. That'll be 3rd match on tomorrow afternoon in the second round. 8 matches in the afternoon, 8 in the evening session. Yes,
this first round proper is the pairings are starting to look mouth-watering, aren't they? They're really, that's where the tournament kind of starts tomorrow. This is just to get the 16 to go forward and meet the seeds.
Yes, Ian White against Dean Winstanley, Jamie Caven against Ronnie Baxter, Dave Chisnell against Raymond van Barneveld, Steve Beaton against Jelle Klassen, 2 former BDO champions playing each other in the afternoon. Kim Huybrechts against Michael Smith, should be a tasty affair. Kevin Painter against Terry Jenkins, among the second round matches tomorrow.
Yeah, an absolute cracking day of darts. As every tournament is, from, you know, wherever we go in the world now, the players are really stepping up to the line and performing.
And just a reminder, we're bringing you every one of the 8 European Tour events for the first time, streamed live on the PDC website and on the official PDC YouTube channel, if I can say it, for free.
It's been a long day, Mike.
It certainly has.
Well, Andy Hamilton's old school of the 93, that leaves the bullseye. He's already hit it to take out an 82 earlier on. Very close to taking the 93. And yet, again, Barry Lynn is going to get 2 darts at double top. Can he finally hit a double?
The answer so far is no. And you see him trudge back from the board to the back of the stage. He knows he can play a lot better than this, but he's not getting a chance against Andy Hamilton. 8-8 to go 5-0 in front.
Well, he's going 2-4 by the look of it. Down for
Double
the 2. Just isn't working for him, is it? It's a shame. It's a cruel game. We keep saying there's no sympathy, and certainly there isn't, and there won't be any sympathy in this man, Andy Hamilton.
One leg away then from victory is Andy Hamilton. And yes, Certainly a steep learning curve for Barry Lynn on his European Tour debut.
41.
I think what helps once you've been on the Pro Tour, on the Challenge Tour for a while, you get to know everybody. So you can walk around and you can talk to an Andy Hamilton. So when Barry gets more experience on the PDC, he won't feel overawed, he won't feel scared of the Andy Hamiltons of this game. And that's the one thing that I notice more and more about the newcomers that are coming through, because they mingle week in, week out. I mean, the calendar, literally every weekend is full of darts, somewhere around the country, around the world. So, you know, you get familiarity between the players, and then you don't get so scared of each other.
Still 4 more first round matches to come this evening on this opening day of the German Darts Championship. The Wanderer, Wayne Jones, up against Thomas Saylor of Germany. He'll have some local support as well. Starting to become a familiar face on TV tournaments is Thomas Saylor. That's next up on stage. And Andy Hamilton will be hoping that is only a few minutes away, that he can get off the stage, have a rest, and then start preparing for his match against Robert Thornton tomorrow afternoon.
Not a vintage performance from Andy Hamilton. And I think a massive learning curve for Barry Lynn. Just a bit nice to see him get a leg on the board. He deserves one, there's no question. 3 of the 5 legs he's had darts at double top.
So another potential for a chance of a double top finish for Barry Lynn, but
92. And you require 68.
we'll be praying that Andy Hamilton doesn't take out this 68. Well, that's adrift. Double top now for the match, and 6-0, and indeed a whitewash for Andy Hamilton. Barry Lynn on his debut. He'll be back,
6-0.
and all the better for it, I'm sure. So Robert Thornton will take on Andy Hamilton tomorrow afternoon. Coming up next, another local lad, Thomas Saylor of Germany, up against Wayne Jones. That's on stage in a couple of minutes' time.